Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to the Medium's Table. I'm your host, Michelle Gardner. This podcast is your personal invitation to join me at the intersection of the everyday and the extraordinary. Together, we'll explore the magic of mediumship, share spiritual stories, and connect with fellow mediums on this incredible journey. So grab a seat, pour yourself a cuppa, and come join us at the Medium's Table, where spirits gather and stories unfold. Disclaimer, just a heads up to all our lovely followers. Our social media is a space where we share personal stories, including those of various mediums. Let's keep the vibe positive and respect each other's beliefs. Every journey is unique, and here we celebrate the diversity of experiences. I'd like to welcome back to the show Unlimited Connections with Jeannette. Welcome back, Jeannette.
Connect.
Exactly. That's it. And this is her monthly segment where she surrenders completely, throws caution to the wind, and communicates with, I want to say whatever's out there, but that could be a little bit too open.
Yeah, I think so. Let's keep some boundaries. Just a few boundaries. Yeah.
With the spirit world, with alien life forms, with beings and entities not of this world. Oh, I think we covered just about everything there.
Angels. We have yet to do gnomes, fairies.
Oh, we're setting an intention.
Leprechauns.
I do believe leprechauns dance, don't they? You know what that means. If you didn't see last month's episode, Jeannette sings in that one while she's in trance. An angel comes through and she sings. Actually, what is the name of that song? I've heard it, but I don't know it.
Which one? Because I think there was just was there an Ave Maria or I have to go back?
That's a different one. There was another one you sung in trance last month, and I've heard the song. But I don't know this. I don't know the song, and I don't even know if it's in English. To be honest, I don't think it is.
That's really weird. Okay, now I'm going to have to watch that tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't remember.
So I'm like, I know this song, but I don't know the words. And then when I'm thinking, I don't think that's in English because I couldn't recognize any of the words in there, or the main words anyway. We have to go back and listen to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like to ask me off the top of my head, no idea.
Because, what's interesting is when we have a conversation, if we would have been just me, right? No trans, I would have remembered. And I would have said, oh, yeah, we were singing this or that, whatever. But in trance, because this is my philosophy anyway, it wasn't truly generated from my, cerebral cortex. It doesn't really have a memory. It's like anybody else that we would say, hey, did you guys watch that, whatever number podcast that was? What was that song? They'll be like, oh yeah, she sang something that was weird, but I don't remember either because it didn't emanate from them.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Mm-hmm. So we'll have to do a little bit of homework there and work that out. But I remember thinking, I don't know the words to that song, but it's like, I recognize the song though. I feel like it was something that may have been played at Christmas, but I could be wrong. Because it's been a long time since I heard it, and I couldn't even tell you for the life of me where I would have heard that song. Anyway, the mysterious song.
Yeah. So my daughter's joking with me, and she said, Mom, I think I've got some names for you. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm fine with Jeannette. I've had it for a lifetime now. She's like, so you could be known as either the singing medium or the eye-rolling medium. I'm like, or we can just stick with Jeannette Connects and, keep my expectations low. There's nothing expected with a connection other than a connection.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. But, look, it is a little bit of nice light entertainment, I'll say, when your eyes roll back. I can't do it. I don't know how the hell that even happens. Not that I go around the house practicing, but, it's like.
You got to ask a 15-year-old female, particularly in the States. How did you learn to put on makeup? That'll be like a total right, like, oh, and then they'll give you like 4 or 5 names of whoever it is they follow on YouTube on how to put on makeup. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Like, how did
that's
you not
it.
know that? Major eye roll.
But there's some really brilliant things happen when you go into that state, into that altered state. And if you haven't seen this before, Jeannette doesn't remember. Clearly, you can see if you're watching, it's not her. There are signs. Her whole body changes. She speaks differently. She acts differently. Just everything changes. She sings and doesn't know she's singing. She's got a beautiful voice. I say thank God for that and thank you. And so many interesting things. And last time you had the announcer, the broadcaster came through to announce there were spirits waiting to come in, and he sort of stood aside and they did.
So that reminds me, right? Because we got a name because they have not told me who they are. And they, at least the galactic beings. And I'm like, okay, I put in 3 years into this relationship. Give me a name. I know that it's not important and they don't go by that. But then they did give us a name, Rosanon. They repeated it 3 times. So I had asked you last time once we were off the air, but I want to remind you, ask them if it's galactic that comes through. Hey, when they start, do I have the pleasure of speaking with Rosanon?
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
I need to write this down because I already have.
What are they going to do? No, we're out of here because you asked a question before we asked you if you wanted to ask a question.
I'm just going to write it down.
I want to know.
Yeah. So you want to know if we're speaking with Rosanon.
Right. Like the one that you were saying, there was somebody who was kind of like narrating. Was that Rosanon? Or is it a different?
There was one that came through. I think it was the one. So it was the last one that came through before the broadcaster came back in. And I'm like, I recognize that one. And I have a feeling that that's the one who said that wrote the Rosanon name. And now here I am. I sit on the other side listening and watching, but now I'm distinctly seeing, no, I recognize that one. As soon as I hear it, I'm like, I know that one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's interesting. And we don't really have a name other than Rosanon. So it's, to address them.
I'm not going to be greedy. I'm happy with that one name because I do get that it's like that's the one that's actually communicating, but representing many more, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
the lead,
yeah, it is interesting. It's an experience, that's for sure. Absolutely an experience, and I'm so fortunate to be here to witness that.
To a scientific text the other day, and they were talking about consciousness, and there's so much now being studied about consciousness, and they were talking about local consciousness. Here we are, it's local, and then non-local consciousness. So, like you're here. Right. So I'm like, that's a good way of explaining trance. So right now, my consciousness is totally local. So I don't think I disappear or go anywhere. But what is my consciousness does separate. It goes to, I don't know where. And I've often thought, what am I seeing? What am I doing there? I don't know. I need to take notes because there's nothing. I come back and I try to remember. And there's nothing other than just feeling relaxed and peaceful and numb. Like Michelle will start with a bunch of questions and I'm like, and I know it's important to decipher the whole thing once I'm done, but I am like, zero. I'm at zero computing and giving back to you or supporting your conversation at that time because many times I'm just like not really back enough. It takes a bit, I think, for all of the nerves and everything else in the body to kind of, come back into completely being there. Like when you wake up really fast or you're falling asleep and you hear a noise and you wake up, you're awake, but not 100%. You're in an in-between state. So that in between stage is probably already kind of like non-local and getting, you know what I mean? You're getting further away into being like, and then bilocal would be when you're kind of here, like if it's a light channeling where I can still hear some of the verbiage, usually like at the beginning, because as time goes on, as they blend more, you kind of go deeper into it, just like REM sleep. When you first fall asleep, as opposed to after about like half an hour or something. So yeah, I thought that was really, really interesting. And I'm fascinating and all that, into the science part of it, of neural, electrical, magnetic, and how it relates to altered states of consciousness. And is consciousness truly, if it can be non-local, what that means is that when you die, you don't really die, because that energy, that consciousness continues.
Yeah.
Because it could be non-local when you're physically alive. It can then, obviously, it's non-local once you pass, which then gives a little bit of backup to spirits and being able to speak with people once they pass, because their consciousness is still there. That energy it's infinite. It continues.
Yeah,
anyway.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's interesting that you say that, because I literally had that conversation in a previous interview that I just did before this one.
For real? Wow.
Yeah. Yep. For real. So it's amazing how the conversation carries on with different people into another conversation.
On consciousness.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
okay.
Interesting. All right. Well, I'll try not to hit you with the rapid fire of my words when you come back so suddenly.
You do a great job on your own anyway. I just need to sit there and pretend to still be physically here.
Wave.
Uh-huh. Yes. So I am ready to go non-local now at this time and see what they have in store for us today.
Oh, fantastic. Now, what that means is Jeanette's going to go into an altered state. I will cut out the silence as she moves into that state, so it's not boring for everybody who's watching and listening. And then we will come back and cut in where they start to talk through her. So stay tuned, and I'll leave it with you, Jeannette.
Thank you. Once more, we come with great appreciation for this opportunity to connect. This is an electrical time there upon your planet. Surrounding your planet, the vibrations are shifting and changing, rising to a new level that has not been seen in many, many multitudes of years there. Back when your civilization was such advanced that still you have yet to regain what was lost in that time frame. Many things are coming to pass. There is tremendous rage, anger, strife, detestable wars, beings being physically torn apart. We are conscientious of all of these sufferings taking place. And we, as observers, do what it is that we can, which is very limited, simply to providing energies where they can be focused and of use. Again, we are multitudes of entities, not just one, not derived from simply one source, that are now about your planet, gauging, watching, and waiting We are presenting ourselves in different locations and withdrawing. We are presenting and withdrawing. It is as if before a huge downpour of rain, you first begin to feel one or two droplets. It is as if we are giving you the advance notice to understand that there will be a huge downpour soon upon you. I do not mean this in any threatening way. I am simply trying to make the observation, the correlation between simple droplets of rain prior to a big rain. And it allows you the time to recognize, to mentally understand, it will be raining soon. Perhaps I shall take shelter. I shall go indoors. And sure enough, within a short period of time, you once glance out again out of your homesteads and see that it is indeed everywhere and cannot be denied. This is what is ahead. Recognize again in repetition that all the things that need to come to pass before this actually takes place. There's preparation happening as within your wars, which then will create a domino effect upon your government systems, your energy sources, your communications, your health systems. One follows the other. One follows the other. But it will fly by swiftly. Understand the word fly? That is my attempt at a sense of humor. Another now shall speak on balancing and maintaining yourselves in a state as close to tranquility as possible. There are many channels available to you, many separate forms of information that replicate one another on how to maintain your equilibrium through these coming months and throughout this year in particular. We repeat, it is a list. Please recognize that not all forms of media are things that you should be connected to on a daily basis all day long, for they affect your nervous system. We ask instead that you create around yourself those things as much as possible that bring you joy, that bring you relaxation, that bring you tranquility. When deciding on music that you select something that vibrates and resonates with you and calms you, not something that exacerbates you. Look to all of the things in nature. All of these things have been discussed before. Look to your animals, look to your plants, look to lying upon the grass, looking up at the stars, looking up at the clouds as they float by, feeling the breeze upon your face, perhaps going to an ocean shore, smelling the salt air as it comes in, walking through a forest, perhaps, if those of you who recognize elementals, connecting with elementals. All of these things are known to all of you, and they are easily available, and they do not cost you anything there other than your time, and that time will obviously be a reward to you, because it will, in a sense, create fortitude and strength within you for these things that are taking place within your world. Do not feed your soul with fear. Do not allow your thoughts to spiral, there is much that is being orchestrated there upon your world to create that exact reaction from all of humanity. For it is far easier to come in and protect a society that is in dreaded fear, for they are reaching out for any entity, savior, to save them. They do not consider the cost. It has been told to you by others who have appeared in many of your channelers that you have tremendous strength and power within inside each and every one of you. Guard it, as it is said in the Bible, when it refers to your body as a temple. Understand that in all of its complexity, those things that you hold within are sacred to you and are all encompassing of power. Fear is a distraction. Fear can annihilate you completely. You can go without food and substance, but if you allow fear to eat away at you, there is little hope. When you sense that you are beginning to allow that to take place, recognize it and take action. Remember that you have the power to recognize and you have the power to divert your attention and take action and move swiftly into a different arena than that one. Leave it behind. Others will choose to stay within that realm. That is not for all of you. You have the power to select, to choose. To choose. For choice is something that is going to be very prominent as you continue to live day in and day out while these changes are taking place, while the new earth, as many of you have coined the phrase, comes to be. This will take many years. You shall see it. But first, there must be the disruption of the systems that are in place before the new build can begin. We thank you for allowing these messages to come through to those of you who listen. And please know, those of you who give of your time and your energies to see these events take place, to put your fortitude and your human time into it, we thank you for your graciousness. At this time, if there are questions, we shall endeavor to answer that which we can.
Thank you. Yes, I have a question. This question is a curiosity question from Maria, and she would like to know, do aliens or other life forms that we would call aliens have babies or reproduce?
There are some known to us who have lost this ability and have for many years now been working to regain it so that the reproduction, not in the exclusive sense that you know it to be there upon your earth, but difficult to explain, more so like what you see when those of you have tremendous difficulty in bringing a life force into a being. This is what takes place. again, given that there are numerous of us, it is not the same. It varies greatly. But some who have lost this ability are regaining and have been regaining in such a format as I explained somewhat as what you would do there upon your planet.
Thank you. Do they have romance in other dimensions or on other planets with other beings?
Some do. Others are beyond this. It is not romance in the sense in which you are posing the question. It is a thought formation, a connection to emotion, again, is vastly different than how you experience that there upon your world. Understand that within your society, there are what you choose to call as the civilized individuals who number their offspring and stop. And there are others who do not have, shall we say, the sense of your numeration or refinement and simply reproduce as your animal species do. There is a different mindset and a different priority with them compared to those of you that consider yourselves to be advanced in your society. There is tremendous variation there within your own world in how one would go about reproducing and bringing forth more human species. Some areas on your world limit the number in their country of how many children they are able to have.
Thank you. And have we been speaking with Rosanon at all during these communications?
This is the name that, yes, I gave so that the channel may continue with her work and have a sense of what you call their relation to this source, Rosanna. She has learned that the definition basically states that it is a central collection of light sources. I have answered your question, yeah? Rosanon.
Yes, thank you.
The thanks is to you. We say to take this opportunity for each of you to be your own witnesses to what is taking place in the skies above you. If instead of staying within your homes, under your roofs, watching things on a screen, you exit and look to the skies on a nightly basis, all of you will begin to see what many have already seen. it used to be there in your world, that is what was done in the night. Many would gather around your fires and gaze upward. They would see much that they did not comprehend and somewhat belittled what they were viewing. But at this point in time, historically, the consensus is that what will be seen will be many crafts that are presently within your atmosphere. Be vigilant, be consistent. And in the midst of all of these things that you have heard in this communication, most importantly, we say to move through all that is to come with inner peace, and know that you will be able to ascertain your tranquility as all of this will pass. It is not a moment of panic or a moment of chaos. It is a moment of learning and of knowledge. Of new things that will make life a greater source for all of you. Some of those things that will take place in the future, near future, today, you would choose to call magic. And with the years, you will understand the reasoning, the science, the applications necessary that have produced that. And it will no longer be called magic. It's as if a small child understands when you place your hands up to your face, you have not disappeared. But when they are but freshly born to you, they do not understand that if they cannot see, it must no longer exist. As they grow, that game no longer becomes interesting, as the magic that it held is gone. They now understand what it was that they were seeing. This will happen with mankind, and things that today are thought to be magic will become commonplace and understood. The holes that you speak of, the vortexes, it is not magic. All will come to understand the science of how this functions and what is necessary to make it so. For now, enjoy the magic. Enjoy the surprise. All will come.
Thank you.
Be joyful, for you are upon the brink of all things wondrous. That they come with the price we recognize. We thank you again for what is for us one of the greatest opportunities and what it is that we are endeavoring to accomplish here with you and with many others like you, a moment of communication and of enlightening you to what is to come, and to help you be able to manifest and carry yourselves through what lies ahead. Thank you. If there is nothing more,
that is all. Thank you.
May you all continue to shine your light and expand your knowledge of all things.
Welcome back, Jeannette. Now, I know we've just had a conversation in between you moving out of your altered state. You're a little bit dizzy from that communication. So I'll hold back my rapid fire and you can just let me take it over for a moment while you just sit back and nod. Exactly that. Nod and smile. And just take your time coming back to earth. Now, I got the opportunity. I'm just going to share a little backstory here about how this came about. So I was editing an episode that hasn't been aired yet. And I found within this episode where your mum, Maria, had a question that she wanted to know from the beings that you channel about reproduction and babies.
My mom?
Your mum. And do they have romance? So those were the questions I chose. And I wrote them down and I was able to ask them today and they were answered.
When did Mom ask you this? Like what? When did this happen?
No, she asked you. So you must have been watching an episode or something together, or she was hearing you. You talk about how she could hear you laughing. You say you're going to do a recording, but she said, all I could do is hear you laughing in there. Then she wanted to know, why don't they ever talk about, or, how come we never ask about babies and reproduction from alien beings?
I think to know what's on the mind of my 94-year-old mother. The 3-letter word, everybody.
So, and then she wanted to know about romance as well. So these are the questions that you were telling me she wanted to know. So I actually wrote them down when I was editing and I thought, right, we're going to satisfy Maria's curiosity right here, right now. And we did. So
wicked funny. Yeah. Literally wicked funny. Okay. Yeah, because we'll chit chat after so she doesn't hear the trance, obviously, because it's quiet, I guess. But she hears us. And then when we're done taping, we'll just talk about life and crack each other up. So that's what she hears. And so she wonders, really, you're doing what in there? Yeah. So. Yeah,
exactly. So she had those questions and hopefully you're welcome, Maria. So she'll have her answers now. And obviously, if there's any more curiosities that are born from the answers that were given during that channeling session, by all means, tell her to reach out and I'll jot them down and we can work on those as well.
94-year-old mom wants to know. Everybody listen in.
And you want to know the answer?
What was her answer? I'm curious. Or you're going to make me watch the episode?
No. So, well, I probably should. So they talk about how some, obviously, they're not just a one, type of being. So some have lost this ability more so. Okay, so they were referring to what we see here.
They don't have Viagra? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. They didn't mention it, so I'll assume that is a negative.
Lost ability. That's what that says right there. Okay.
Yeah. So some are sort of more so how we perceive it here, we're wanting the child and so on and so forth, and how that happens. They are regaining the ability. So that's interesting. They didn't go deeper into that. Obviously, we're not going to understand fully because we're human. We know what we know, and that's all we know. You know what I mean? How it happens here, birds and the bees, the end. Yeah. And with romance, some do. So again, we're not talking. So if you could imagine multiple species out there in the ethers, they're not all doing things the same. They're doing things differently, different cultures, different, I don't know, light sources, whatever they are, alien beings. Some have romance in thought formation. Some it's a connection to emotion. And some the same as us. Some reproduce as our animals. And then I've gone on to I've shorthanded it here as in different. It's a different mindset to what we know. They will just reproduce because that's what they do. There's no real, I want to say, like a
species or something like that.
Yeah, like a deliberate thought form from us. We're going to do this. Therefore, a child they do it to keep on, for the species to continue on. And they went on to sort of point out the variation within our world and how we've got the different species on our world that all reproduce for different purposes, different reasons, different because they're a different species.
Different religions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Different socioeconomic
all of it.
Backgrounds also.
Yeah.
You see a lot of that.
Yeah.
So like I think it's the upper middle class, and it's like, usually 2.5 kids.
Yeah. Well, I have written
4 or 5 or 6 kids. Yeah.
Yeah. Where we might limit children, etc., where, rats and mice, they'll just keep pumping those little babies out because they can.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And rabbits, hence breed like rabbits. So, different species. Okay. And then I did ask the question, was I speaking with Rosanon? Yes, Rosanon. And that name was given for the medium being Jeannette.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
She has learned. Yes, it's and they want they sort of flesh that out to they are a central collection of light sources, and that's the name they've given you, so you can make that reference point.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but that was very interesting basically in a nutshell, they're aware of what's happening here, the strife, the wars, the rage, the anger. And what they're sort of basically saying is, I'm going to really strip this right down, is you have the ability to go outside into nature and just detach from that for a little while. They're sort of saying, don't sit there day after day and just stay tuned in to the news. Don't just stay tuned in to the media, because that then affects the nervous system. That then puts one, you go into all sorts of negative states of emotions and thoughts and so on and so forth. So they're saying to create that balance and that equilibrium, go outside into nature, whether it's the ocean, whether it's watching animals, being around animals. We all have the ability to be able to either look out a window, go outside, touch the grass, look at the sky, look at the night sky, just be outside, detach. And allow yourself to fully be immersed somewhere else, which I think, and it's so logical, yet we don't always do it.
A lot of people do it, at least in my society, at the gym, because we're so driven in America about, work, and so everything is structured. So, but because working out is now seen as a necessity in this day and age, everybody pretty much does something. So that's their time. And I think there's a lot of recharging and disconnecting, that unless they're plugged in and watching the news, in which case that whole just backfired on me. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So they also talk about the preparation within the wars, government, health, etc. this needs to happen for the next new phase to come in. So it's like a cycle, and it's almost like it has to, when you can't turn off your front loading washing machine because the cycle has to finish, and then you can get the clothes out. All right. So the cycle has to finish. Now they're talking about, so during that time and when all this is happening, again, I've written down balancing and maintaining your souls as close to tranquility as possible. Okay, then they sort of took a back step and another voice came in, more gentle, more tranquil. And that's when they were the ones that spoke about not needing to fully listen to the media. Don't feed your soul with the fear. And how it's easier to protect a society who is in fear because they are looking for a savior. So when you've got a whole country or a whole city that is in fear and needs protecting, it is so easy for example, a government department to move in and say, we will save you, but it's going to be done our way. So within that fear, you've just given them control. And
you're so desperate. I've seen that like when people are in tremendous pain and you say, if we do this operation, you're like, yeah, just do it. Just stop. I can't be in this pain anymore. You don't really go into, well, how long is it going to last? Am I going to have another surgery? What are the side effects? It's desperate mode. I can see that.
Yeah. And the reminder is there that we all have the tremendous strength within each of us. Guard it. It is sacred, all-encompassing of power. They spoke about, as in the Bible, the body is a temple. Protect that. That's yours. And don't allow the fear, to eat away.
That I know got thrown around a lot in my youth,
for other reasons.
As a contraceptive, you know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
And so your body, the temple, you shouldn't have sex. And anyway, so that's a much more interesting way of, and I always thought there was more to that makes sense to me now.
Yeah, exactly. You have the power, and I wrote that in capitals because it was reminded of power, to divert, focus elsewhere, choose. And again, that's where they talk about, oh, no, hang on. No, this is the different part. Focus elsewhere. Choice is going to be very prominent during these changes. And they're talking about the changes that are happening now, like the war and so forth, and you just saw this disruption, ready for the new earth. But this will take years. Disruption of systems first before the new build. So it's almost like Rome needs to fall, not directly, I'm just metaphorically speaking, and then we can build it one block at a time, bigger and better.
Yeah, like an old house, usually it's easier just to demo it and check your foundation and start up again.
Yeah. Okay. And so then we had question time. And then at the end, be your own witness within the skies above. Go outdoors. I love this. And look to see what is already being seen. It was done in other times around fires, seeing these views in the night sky. There will be many crafts in our atmosphere. Be vigilant and consistent. So they're encouraging people, once upon a time, caveman times, we probably lived in caves, but there was a lot of outdoors. There was a lot of sitting around fires, not just in that time, but as we move through the ages. Yeah. As we move through the ages, there's, people still do it now, sit outside around that, the fire pit and whatnot, like you said, camping. So they're sort of saying to people, though, do it more often instead of like they were saying to leave your dwellings, leave your house, the roof over your head, and go outside at night.
And look up. Yeah.
And look up. If you want to see what people are talking about and you want to see what, if the rumors that are going around that this could be happening, that could be happening, look up and you'll see it for yourself. The evidence is there. Move within a peace, tranquility, because all of this will pass. It's a moment in time for us. What we think, I love that. I love the analogy they used where the child, from a baby, you cover their eyes and they think that you can't see them because they can't see you, and it's magic until the magic is, and they made a bit of a joke about that. It was pretty funny. What we think is magic will become commonplace. And then they talked about vortexes.
Oh.
Yeah, how that will, what we think is magic, the vortexes, they're always there, that these will be seen. These won't be magic anymore.
Well, I'm excited, but God, I like magic. Something else will be magic. Okay, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, they're going to have to step up the magic now.
Right. What will that do to the airline industry?
Wow, that's it. Exactly. Yeah. Travel just became real cheap. Yeah. Moving from one place to another. Imagine that. Boom, that quick.
Wow.
Yeah. Some people are going to lose. Yeah.
Very Star Trek-y.
Yeah, exactly.
Me up, Scotty type thing.
Yeah. And I can imagine, there will be, again, the falling down of systems. And that's been spoken about quite a few times. So you could imagine, let's just say, we're going to say hypothetically, we're going to just, be open to the possibilities that was the situation. How many big departments and businesses and companies would fall if that was the case? You could just create a vortex.
Things that are obsolete. Historically, like that happened with the buggy. Because it was a huge industry. Horse and buggy.
Yeah.
And it was people who made like the wheels, people who made the steel that went into the wheels, the ramp. So when a system changes like that, right? Like I'm sure that our universities and our education system, like if somebody can sit at home and get an education this way, do you really need to be going every single day to class or whatever? Not really.
That's right. Yeah.
You save time, you save energy and transportation getting there and coming back. So yeah, it changes. And definitely many times systems will be when someone has invented stuff. I mean, I'm talking historically. It's been bought out. It's been bought out so that they can keep it suppressed and not blow up that particular market or that industry.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you think about it even now, right now in our time, in our day and age, our present current time, how many jobs has AI replaced? Because now we can source information, we can look up how to do something.
And robots.
Sitting here on our keyboards.
In a part of town yesterday, and on the corner, there are these, I don't know if you've seen them, there's these tiny little, I'm going to tell you really, it's probably 2 feet by 3 feet. It's got 4 wheels and it's delivering lunch to the different buildings in this part of town.
Wow.
And it's got like a little heated container inside and it'll go into, and it has a camera. And it was, I thought it was interesting. I'm like, is that thing really waiting for the light to change, to cross? It was. It was. I just sat there and went, what? And then, the light changed. And then, because there was nobody else there. So I thought, well, is it following a human? No, it's not. I guess somehow the sensor was set and knew where it was going. And it knew that it needed, if there was, it was reading the light before it crossed the street to deliver its lunch. So all the little delivery guys that used to do that, they were gone. It's all these little things. I forgot what they call them. They're really cool.
Yeah. But in saying that, and that's what, it's funny you say that because, I've had this conversation with my husband. Oh, all the self-serve checkout now. There's no, they've just ruined all the jobs for all the, we call them checkout chicks, for all the checkout people.
Checkout chicks?
Checkout chicks. For all the checkout chicks. It's Australia.
I didn't say it. It was her, not me.
For all the checkout chicks. So, the self-serve has ruined that because now they don't need so many. But like I said to him, well, hang on a minute. Who's building the machines? Who's servicing the machines? That's creating jobs, the parts, all of that.
And there's a shift. Those people then who can't work at that, believe it or not, I mean, it'll be a struggle, but they will somehow reinvent themselves more than likely in something that was far more fulfilling than being a checkout individual.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it will be a struggle because if this is all you've done, but something else historically, when you look at all of these things historically, people then start to do other things.
Yeah.
There are other, like you said, there are other jobs that open up and then they're trained to do whatever it is that they need to do.
Exactly. Sometimes it forces them to branch out and find new paths, different doors open, and away they go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Brilliant. Brilliant. So there's some big stuff in that. And I want to say there's some things in there that are now what in other communications may have seemed more futuristic, more way off in the distance, or you know what I mean? Out there.
Right.
Have now been drawn right back in, and it's like, you know, you feel it's at the doorstep and it's knocking to come in. It's right there. We're at it.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't a political genre by any means, but it's interesting to me how, at least with America right now, with the younger generation, I'm talking 30, 20-year-olds, how they're perceiving, you know, the altercations that are taking place. And I'm like, back in my day, it was a 3-letter word, and everybody would be like,
yeah,
well, you know, nothing has changed. It's completely status quo. You know, everybody goes about their day. When you think back to World War I, World War II, even the first war with Iraq and Iran back in the day, you know, there was much more buzz about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Than there is now.
Yeah. I think there's a lot more distractions now. Social media.
Yeah. I know, who wouldn't rather watch a bunch of kittens in a basket anyway?
Yeah. Or sit there and play Minecraft or something. I don't know what they do now. So, you know what I mean? There's all these other distractions out there. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Very interesting. Stay tuned, I say. Yeah. Can't wait to hear what next month's channelings communications are going to be.
Big changes.
Yeah. It'd be like, did you see us? We waved at you. I'll be like, damn, I need to ask questions. Was that really you, Rosanon?
Go outside. Look at the sky, Michelle. Go look at the sky. You know, it's funny though, because we will go like up to the mountains in the summer, and I'll have to like remember to just go and sit like on the porch or whatever and look up at the stars.
Yeah.
Because I'm so trained to, we had dinner, everybody cleaned up, the kids had a bath, the kids are in bed or whatever. And so you sit down and you watch whatever on TV. So everybody falls asleep because we were hiking and everybody's tired. Where when we used to really go camping, instead of a beautiful 4 or 5 bedroom house, nobody really wanted to go into that little stinky tent. So we stayed out there.
Yeah.
You know, chit chatting and just, you know, taking in being out at night.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's it. And it's so simple. Just walk outside. And I do understand in cities, it is hard to see the night sky with all the lights because it illuminates the sky. So therefore you're not seeing all the stars. And I know that can be a problem. But trust me, if they want to be seen in the sky, you will see them. They will let you know. They will let you know. So, on that note, thank you so much, Jeannette, Rosanon, and the other beings that came through. Now, Jeannette, where can people find you?
Excuse me. On Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, JeannetteConnects.com, and of course, beautiful Mediums tape.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being on the show, and I look forward to having you back again very, very soon. To view the show notes, head over to themediumstable.com.au. If you want to watch these episodes, head over to our YouTube channel, The Mediums Table Podcast.